my first exposure to the thermal modified process really began in about 2008. And that was an IWF show in Atlanta, where during that period of time, the Great Recession, there was very little positive in the lumber industry. It was one of the very new things that I'd never seen before, and we became rather intrigued with it. And actually made a short partnership with another company, an agreement, and realized that was not a very successful situation from our company's perspective. We've strongly believed that someone needs to be able to tell someone no when something won't work or won't do something, and I didn't find that was our relationship with the other people. Shortly thereafter, a few years later, we made an affiliation after some friends of ours, mutual friends with the folks at WDE Maspell. We had discussed with them about our wanting to partner with a company that was manufacturing, and we wound up finding that the folks at one of the companies in Pennsylvania was a very positive relationship, happy with the equipment, happy with the support, and at that point we wound up discussing pulling together a sales agreement for basically North America, United States primarily is where we cover. And so we did set that relationship up, and for a number of years it was a very slow moving situation in the United States. Very difficult from a European standpoint to understand that, because quite frankly it's very popular in Europe and so forth, and there's much more demand there. So as things, they were very patient with us as a sales agent for them, and fortunately over the last 3 years or so, the tide has begun to come in, the interest in thermal has gotten out there, people have learned more and more about the process, what it actually does, the limitations it does have in some cases, and the number of the positive attributes. So effectively, that's been our relationship through the process, or through our working with WDE Maspell. Alessio Lucarelli came along and joined their team and became our main liaison between our United States sales branch, in effect, and their company. So while SII Dry Kilns is a manufacturer of regular kilns in a number of ways, industrial as well as hardwood as well as softwood, but we do not manufacture at this time any of the modification equipment that is imported from Italy. And we are the folks to help not only sell, but also help maintain a positive relationship, I think, with most of our users out there. In fact, all of our users, we have very good relationships. So anyway, I think that's a reasonable overview, I hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
From my standpoint, I can say that WDE Maspell is a company founded in 1962 in Italy, and has been working for over the last century and the beginning of this one on the drying technologies. But in 2008 we started to work on the thermal modification technology, and of course over the time we have discovered that the United States of America is a large market also for thermal modification, okay? And thermally modified wood is a very good product and is growing a lot worldwide, I would say. We have a couple of marketing researchers confirming that. Nevertheless, we also have to say that from one side, we are investing a considerable amount of resources in this country, just because of the business opportunities, but also because we need to understand that thermally modified wood, even if it's a very interesting and good product, is still a young product. And as all the young products, we need to protect the, the good name of the thermally modified wood. Because when you are at the beginning of a certain product, and when the market is growing a lot as it is nowadays, the risk is that someone comes up with not exactly professional production. So that's the reason why we are also active member of the NHLA as in a committee to set up standards for the United States. The same standards, or similar standards to what we have already in Europe since a quite long time. And so we are of course, we will bring our expertise and also our experience in the European market just to contribute to the standards for the United States. Without standards, the risk is that, you know, the product is going to take a bad name, as we say in Europe. And if this happens, the end user will never ask who has thermally modified that wood. We'll all say that probably thermally modified wood is not a reliable product, and that will be a disaster for a lot of people, including ourselves, of course.
Yes, absolutely. And NHLA, being the keeper and teacher of the rules, standards have been the foundation of the association for all the 128 years of its existence. So completely agree there, and I absolutely appreciate that y'all are working with NHLA to make sure we maintain that tradition, especially with an innovative new product that is now becoming really popular in the U.S. So I would really like to hear a little bit more about like what kind of applications, what's really booming in the U.S. right now, where could we boom a little more, that kind of thing from the business side.
I think in the U.S., the initial product was really utilized primarily exterior siding, decking, but it has found a number of different areas. But effectively, to give a real quick overview of the process itself, number one is that it is a very green process because it's chemical free, as opposed to pressure treating of different products and so forth. So it really is the first time that a person could truly use a hardwood or a non-chemical treated pine in an outdoor environment and in that exposure, and still be able to have a very long life expectancy of that. And that's a unique situation to have. So the process itself is effectively a matter of elevating temperature of the wood to temperatures in roughly 400 degree Fahrenheit approximate, and that varies slightly with species. The duration that you hold it at the peak temperatures is something that varies also depending on if the darkness of the wood that's achieved or that's desired. So some folks have a low color change, a medium, a high, etc., very dark. However, one of the most important factors for people to understand, which ties into the standards notion that's really so important, is that while this is a completely through the body, you can cut the board in half, it's the exact same color all the way through, and so forth. However, if the company, if the process does not include mass loss in the wood, which are the hemicellulose, cellulose, lignins, etc., if it doesn't experience some mass loss, effectively meaning at 0 MC in the wood, if it comes out at the same weight that it would be at 0 MC, it has not experienced mass loss. Without mass loss in the weight of the wood, then basically you have not necessarily created a thermally modified product. And one of the most important things to realize is there are a number of ways to darken wood. Steaming wood will produce a very dark product that looks basically the same. However, it will not hold up in an outdoor environment, the exposure that it gets. So I think it's very critical that standards do take some positive move, hopefully. And I know that they have, folks in the industry have looked to different groups to consider where that can be. And hopefully there's others that will be able to help create some of these specifications. But at the same time, I think NHLA may prove to be the most logical one to actually help advance this, would be my personal opinion. So anyway, in terms of the different uses, again, it's really different exterior uses. I have literally seen, there are a number, for example, which is unusual, but musical instruments. A number of guitar manufacturers have found that the tone and whatnot is really something that's quite desired. So we know a number of people that use it for that type of thing, or the manufacturer for those users, manufacturers, but also even in the flavoring of wine, believe it or not, and there's just a multitude of different aspects that I think will still be evolving for quite some time.
If I may add something, I'd like to bring something also that we have from our experience in Europe. Another product which is not so common here probably, it's a saunas, okay? Or, either the playgrounds for children. They're made a lot of that in, or outdoor furniture. This is other applications. And the good point is that we are seeing that month by month, if not week by week, the number of applications, possible applications for thermally modified wood are increasing and increasing and increasing, up to the trailers of the trailers decks, or boat deckings, or beach deckings, or patios. So there are really a lot of possible applications. That's the reason why we understand and we believe that the market will grow on over the next few years. This is at least the outlook that we have seen from the marketing research and also from our customers, which are absolutely a very good thermometer of the market.
Very interesting. So interesting to hear about a whole new product in the hardwood world. So, aside from that, are there any specific species that really stand out and work well in the thermally modified space?
No,
or is
not
it
exactly.
all?
I mean, we say that as a manufacturers or the technology providers, if it can be tried, it can be thermally modified, because at the end of the day, we are gonna speak about the last part of the process of drying, where the final moisture content is close to zero, or 2 or 1% or something like that. So they are not specific. I mean, of course, if you have a specific species, very difficult to be dried, it's gonna be difficult also to be thermally modified. But the good point is that drying process is absolutely crucial in the thermal modification process as well, because thermal modification process starts approximately at 12%. So it means that when you dry the wood from fresh to 12%, of course the drying process is gonna be critical and crucial, either for checks, honeycombs, or whatever, because if you have defects before the thermal modification, you will have the same at the end of the thermal modification process. You will have the same defects, we say, colored,
Yeah, just different color, a little darker.
Colored. That's the point, absolutely correct to
good.
say.
All right. And do you have anything to
Go
add?
ahead.
Right. I was going to ask a little bit about your NHLA memberships and if those have had any impact on your businesses so far. And I'm sure y'all met outside of an NHLA convention, but I would love to hear a little bit about if NHLA played a role in how y'all's businesses work together, both with each other or just outside in the larger hardwood industry.
From our standpoint, we've been a long-time member, 30-some years. That actually predated my joining the company, actually with my family business, but my father, brother, and so forth. And so we've had a very good relationship because of with our conventional kilns and what we do there. It's been a marvelous avenue for us to be able to not only see existing customers, but to meet new ones as well. And these conventions are one of the major reasons for us, because we're not in the lumber production end. So a lot of the things that NHLA brings to our customers don't really affect us directly. However, from our ability to be able to meet and socialize and whatnot, and learn a good bit at the same time, we find the NHLA membership for us has been very positive.
And from the WDE Maspell perspective, first of all, we became member at the beginning of this year, I guess, if I don't remember bad. And so we are a really new member of the NHLA. But at the moment in time, the impact for our business was very good, because first of all, we had the opportunity to stay and to be present in the market, knowing the people that probably they met a long time ago, but now we have the opportunity to show them that we are on the market. And in our opinion, when you spend your face in the market, is always better than to stay relegated in Europe and having simple partner here. So the partnership that we are having with SII Dry Kilns is very evident to everybody, and even at the convention or at the exhibition, we'll be very close to each other, and we say that we are proudly represented by SII Dry Kilns, which proudly represents WDE Maspell. This is absolutely good, and also it's good for us to have the opportunity to communicate to the market and to bring and address our message to the market.
Wonderful.
You may wonder why the attractive person in the middle is not allowed to talk much. But the gist of it is, in the way we operate, Mary's role in this relationship with them is really to keep me in line a bit and to keep us somewhat organized. And one of the things we think that we bring to this relationship between our two companies is the fact that by having a U.S. representative for them, that is not really just a salesman or just a sales agency, that we actually are a manufacturer as well. So we manufacture our own products and so forth. So we have inventory, we have all the things that other manufacturers have to deal with, as they have to in Italy. However, as you can imagine, there are times that you may have a breakdown, something wears out, you need a replacement part. That travel is a difficult thing when it means you're not operating, and the time lapse can be rather devastating if it takes a few weeks, which it can, for things to travel from Italy to get to the U.S. through customs, etc. Mary comes into play because she helps manage what amounts to a consignment stock that we put in, but I'd like to ask her just to explain a little bit about how that works in terms of what she does
And
there.
just want to add, of course, that from our standpoint, Mary represents the future of our cooperation, so of our partnership. So I just want to add this.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's important that we say that we don't stop supporting our customers after the sale is made. Anytime from the smallest part to the biggest shutdown, they can call SII, and then we have such a wonderful relationship with everybody at Maspell. I can reach out to them directly if we don't have the parts in-house, which we have been working with them all year on what the most important parts are to keep in our shop in North Carolina, so we can get them out same day, so you can get back up and running. If it's something more complicated than that, we have such a wonderful relationship with everyone at Maspell. I can get a hold of them right away, and we can work together to see what the fastest solution is. And so we have had a really good time with, any problem we've been able to solve quickly, and I just appreciate everyone back in Italy who works hard to help me help the customer.
All right.
One question I have, that how we together with NHLA, NSI, Kilns, and Maspell work together to make our body stronger and help the thermally modified food industry in the United States, or basically in North America. How you vision that how we, NHLA and all two of you, two big companies, work together, and how we can make it more impactful from your perspective. How NHLA can be in the front foot to help both of you as well as the other industry.
Well, I need to say that I joined the company 6 years ago, and I think there are good witnesses that I have personally changed a lot of things in our company, making the company to be ready for the future. And a big part of our future is in the United States. So one of my main tasks today, and even in the past, but also today and for the future, is to adapt our offer to the United States market in terms of marketing, in terms of consignment stuff for having prompt spare parts ready for available in the market. And we are now going to to make offers in dollars, just to avoid the problem with the exchange rate, just to give an example. So the more we do and the more we give to the market, the more we will get back from the market. So, and this is our only a part of our commitment in making the market to grow. The other part, of course, as we said, is our contribution to the standards, which is absolutely important. Once again, without standards, we will be running a big risk.
Absolutely, that's a good question, Salish. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask?
Yeah, that's good for now. I can
Okay.
ask them first.
Yeah. Well, I think we're at about 22 minutes, and I think that is perfect. Y'all have been fantastic answers, and I really appreciate y'all's time. If there's any last little things y'all want to add, or any questions I haven't asked that you want to cover, please feel free.
I would
For
say,
NHLA as well.
okay, well, I would say that one of the most important factors to me about the involvement that NHLA is taking toward thermal modification. And I'd probably be lying to say that there's probably not some members who don't understand it, don't really care about it, quite frankly, and it doesn't seem like it's that important. And yet, we all can complain in the industry about how hardwoods are attacked from every direction. Every piece of hard tile I see in every hotel in the country has got wood grain on it, and yet it's tile. And so as you add those things up and you start thinking, where does hardwood get to strike back? Where do we get to make an attempt? And that's exactly what thermal modification begins to give an opportunity to do. Utilize not only is it exceptionally attractive material, but the fact that it can then begin to take place of other, whether it be vinyl siding, be it whatever. Admittedly, it's not going to be the same price point, but it is so much more attractive and it is so sustainable as well, which gets missed over, but that's a fact. And so as you look at that, I think that that's one of the main reasons why I feel NHLA is trying to push this promotion. This is not a single manufacturer thing. This is like so many other things. And as the ocean rises, all boats on it do. And in this particular case, we don't expect that everyone in the country will always want to buy WDE Maspell from SI and right Kilns, but we do know that there will be enough room for multiple manufacturers to be able to help the industry grow. And to that end, it goes back again to Alessio's point. Without proper standards, we all know that we become, the buying public can be a little vulnerable. We're not saying that takes place, but we're saying only a fool would think it couldn't. So to that end.
I just would like to add that a very important thing that I was forgetting now, but the point is, it's our communication. It's another way to contribute to the growth of the market. That's because our communication is not really addressed to the sawmills and so on, but mainly to the designers, to the architects, because if they would promote the use of thermally modified wood, then the market would grow much better. We don't have to forget that they are the decision maker, and we are just addressing our message to the decision makers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. I
And Dad
appreciate-
just purchased some
True.
to build his deck, so he stands behind the product 100%.
Yep, absolutely. NHLA has some thermally modified decking in their front and between their school and their main offices.
Nice.
So beautiful. It's still it was really dark when they first installed it, but now
Uh-huh.
it's like it's kind of maintained that darkness, but
Yeah.
it's still like really very strong and beautiful. I just love it. Every time I go to their office, it's like so beautiful.
Very good.
Anything else you would like to
Good.
add?
Great.
Thank you very much for your time.